In this video, Alan shows an example of kinematic structural modeling using StructureSolver for integration with Petrel. The latest version of StructureSolver looks a little different after the addition of new features, including context menus, which help make this process even easier.
In the previous video, we used the area depth method to look at the displacement across this array of faults. Now we will create a structural model for the purple fault to see whether the horizon curvature and displacements are consistent with the fault shape. So you can see that this fault has got growth up until approximately this purple horizon here, and then not so much growth, but there's a regional dip occurring at this point. So the first thing we'll do is we'll actually rotate the section, and I'll put about 2 degrees of rotation into it to take out the regional dip of this purple horizon here. Immediately get another section with the dip removed with all of the interpretation active again. And so at this point I'm going to create a structural model for that purple fault. So I'll just add a structural surface and I'll put in a datum up here somewhere. I'll put in at the footwall levels that fault. I'll put in a series of surfaces, including for the uninterpreted part of the section. I will change the shear angle to conform more closely with the shear angle that's visible in that antithetic fault array. So I'll bring it down to about 50 degrees. And then I'll just simply stretch these surfaces, stretch the growth sequence out and preserve the lower part as pre-growth. So I'll use stretch overlying layers and this guy here and bring him down. And you can see in that point, now I can tweak individual surfaces. I can tweak this one back up a little bit, and maybe that one down a bit, this one down a bit. And now I'm getting a pretty good model actually for this fault here. Let's see whether we show the model color fill. There's the model superimposed upon the seismic data and the existing interpretation. So at this point this is completely live, so if I go to interpret, modify, and modify the shape of the fault, you'll see I can change the dip on the lowest part of the fault. I could add some points to the fault to try and understand the lower trajectory of it. See, we can see whether or not the fault goes up or down with depth, and so on and so forth. So again, this is something that we've immediately got another analysis tool at our disposal because we've brought the data from Petrel into the StructureSolver work environment. So I'll close this rotated window out.
To continue learning how to implement the StructureSolver plugin for Petrel in your workflow, see our Learning Center, where you'll find more on this topic and many others.